couple things. First off, we will have a cool interview at the end of this, man. We actually, me and Deke got a chance to go see the play American Son that was playing over at the O'Reilly Theater in Pittsburgh. And we talked to Bianca Laverne Jones. Her episode is going to be airing shortly.
And she was the lead actress.
Yeah, she was the lead actress in it, and she was phenomenal. Great interview. Definitely going to listen to that. But then also we have one of her co-stars in there, and his name is Giuseppe Jones. He'll be on later on today as well, man. So that's going to be dope to have him on and hear his perspective and everything like that. So y'all definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. But now to the matter at hand. Because it is pretty crazy right now. Pretty crazy. We have mass hysteria. We have a lot of craziness going on, and could be rightfully so, because when you're looking on the television right now, we are all seeing one thing. Everything's being canceled, from schools, tournaments, seasons being suspended. We have coronavirus mania right now.
Yes.
For right or wrong, it's happening. For right or wrong, we are getting to experience and witness history, baby. This is history being made, and we have a front row seat to it. In fact, we're better than the front row seat. We're kind of like the narrators to this thing right now.
A little bit, yeah.
So, with that being said, I think it's important that we touch on this because you can't let something this major this is one of the first things in a long time that has impacted everything, whether it's politics, sports, education, any age group. Everybody's been affected by this right now. So with that being said, wow.
Well, you saw my initial reaction. Because I texted you as soon as I saw what the NBA was doing. I was watching the Mavs. Who the heck were they playing?
The Mavs were playing, because it was Jazz and Thunder, Mavs and Nuggets, maybe?
Yes.
Nuggets, yeah, Mavs and Nuggets.
So I was watching that game, and they broke the news, and then we were texting back and forth about it, and I just couldn't believe it, because the first thing was just the NBA is going to suspend the season. And I think there was news before that, though, that the Jazz and Thunder canceled their game, or suspended it, or postponed, whatever you want to say. So there was something fishy going on there. Then all of a sudden they suspend the season. Then like 5-10 minutes later, you hear that Gobert has the virus. And like you could actually see in my text messages to you just how I swung from one side to another. I see NBA season suspended. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. Like, I can't believe this. Then 5 minutes later, Gobert has the virus, and I'm like, I guess this thing ain't no joke, actually.
Well, it's funny because you saw it in reverse order than I saw it.
Really?
I saw it because I was on social media the whole time. So, like, I follow, was it Adrian Wojnarowski?
Yeah.
So he was the first one to put out before the Jazz Thunder game got canceled that one of the players had the coronavirus.
Oh, no way.
He didn't say who it was at first. So it goes from one of the players to have coronavirus to they show the broadcast team canceling the game, telling the fans leave. And then it's a report that says all the players are quarantined in the locker room. So a couple minutes after that, it says Rudy Gobert has it. So when you're texting me, yo, this is crazy, NBA season is canceled, no lie, I'm in the bed texting you right then like, yo, Rudy Gobert has it. And then you text me right back and I'm like, well, now he just saw it. But that's how I found out. And then from there, it was like, oh yeah, it made perfect sense that they would suspend the season, because when you just think about how it can multiply that quick. I mean, they showed the 5 teams that Rudy Gobert had just played against, because he wasn't even in the arena that night. But you have to think, if he was around those guys in practice, those people playing versus the team they're playing against, then when they leave, whoever they're around, who they're playing against, not to mention the families that they're around and the families that they're around and the people. So you just see how it can multiply and get spread that quick. So from there, when I saw that, they were quarantining these guys, I'm like, you have to. Because, I mean, and honestly, not just them, you're probably going to need to go back to every team that has played not only against Gobert in those past 5 games, but the teams that have played against the team that played against Gobert in those past 5 games, and the teams that played against them. Because in the NBA, you know how it is. You'll play 3 games in a week. That's 3 different cities. One of those teams played in Toronto. That's a whole other country. So you could just see how crazy it can really get. And they have been reports that the NBA, they are going to go and test all their players now. And for a while, even when Steph Curry got sick, they were like, hey, is that the corona? And they just simply said it was the flu, but no one knows if he got tested for the corona or not. So that's all things that are going to be transpiring in the near future. And now to go back to the players that are quarantined in the locker room, they still are in the locker room.
No way.
Yes, they this is why.
No way.
So this is why. Because we just talked about how it can spread, right? So you think they have to travel to go back to either Utah, right? How are you going to get back to Utah? You're going to fly, right? Granted, you're chartering and everything, right? But you still have to get around the other airport staff that works in the hangars and stuff like that. It spreads just like that. So that's why they're like, they got to keep them there until they can come up with a solution. And I even told you before then, what did I say about the cruise ship? They're stuck on the California coast. Yeah.
No.
Same thing. And they were like, hey, man, Trump needs to do, they started getting on Trump. Trump needs to do something to get the people off the boat. They were literally flying in supplies on a helicopter.
Yeah.
But you couldn't come off the boat. Just because they had to make sure that everybody was quarantined because they don't want to spread it. So that's why I was like, when I said to you, I'm like, dude, it's crazy. They're gonna probably have to stay in Utah. I mean, the game was in OKC. So I was like, they're gonna have to stay in OKC until all that gets situated. And typically, what they've been saying is 2 weeks, 2-week quarantine, just to see like how you react to it. But you say, oh my goodness, it's oh my goodness until it spreads, and now you're like, dang, why aren't you stopping? Is it not?
Captain Hindsight.
I'm just saying, man. So for me, man, I definitely see why they suspended the season. I definitely understand why they're telling them they have to stay there. And that's what the report was literally 15 minutes before I came and we got on this mic together. Because I wanted to just double check to make sure, like, are they still there? Because they said that they were essentially coming up with sleeping arrangements for them to have in the stadium.
Wow.
But they were going to have to stay overnight. And then they were trying to organize charter buses to take the Jazz players back because they said they can't have them flying because they don't want them dealing with all that. They said at least with the bus, you can keep it isolated to that. But then I'm like, if you're the bus driver, dude, imagine that. You want to be the bus driver when I know for a fact y'all will around somebody that had corona?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Hey,
you just are, dude, because
hey.
I have that mentality where I'll just beat whatever. Like, I won't get it.
Okay, so my question is this.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's just my mentality. And But if you're asking me to sign up for it, I wouldn't sign up for it.
That's what we're asking, though.
But if I was the bus driver, I would just feel like I'm going to do my duty, do my job no matter what.
You think that's a good idea?
I don't know what's a good idea. I'm just telling you how I
think. So my
think.
question is this. So if it was AIDS, right?
No, well,
no, I'm just asking a question. If it was AIDS, would you feel the same way? Would you feel, I'm going to beat it?
I don't know. No.
So what's the difference, though?
Because
one, you know for a fact the mortality rate. One, you know for a fact the stigma around AIDS, right? Whereas with the coronavirus, we don't know where it's going to go to. We hear about the mortality rate right now and how many people it has killed and things like that, the people it has affected, but no one really knows the full extent of it. So I'm just asking you, why is it that when it comes to something that could be bad that we don't know, but we do know has a mortality rate and it's serious enough that they're canceling seasons, they're canceling daggone schools and all this other stuff. If it's serious enough for that, why is it that, oh man, I ain't worried about that, I'll be all right?
I think there's two things to that.
Okay.
One is I'm just naturally thinking the media is overblowing it.
Okay.
But obviously now, I mean...
At what point does media versus reality happen? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, so I'm already like kind of put off by that. But like you said, now maybe I got to start shifting my thinking. But there's that. And then two... From the other side, what I hear is, all right, it's just like the flu. Mm-hmm. The only thing is, there's no necessarily cure for it, or there's no antidote. So
I think that's a big difference than the flu, because at least with the flu you have vaccinations, right?
Well, yeah. Well,
but
I
not
guess
even for all of them, but just for, whatever last year's version of the flu was.
Right. Well, and I think the thing with that is then the people there's. How many undocumented cases of this that are just being, I guess, thrown out there as like, oh, I have the flu. Mm-hmm. So this is just stuff I'm hearing, secondhand. Yeah. So, and the mortality rate is coming from people who are already, I guess, more inclined.
All I'm saying is the numbers are the numbers, because you can say the same with the flu, right? When you look at the mortality rate for the flu, technically the flu has more
people that have
rate.
Like the chronic illness already, or some type of problems,
or they're like
with
elderly and things like that.
Right.
So we know that element of it. So with the coronavirus, they're saying there are similarities in that regard, but they still don't have enough information to know is it just isolated to that? It's not saying that if you get the corona, you're not going to get sick, because you're still going to get sick. You're still going to feel like you have flu-like symptoms.
Right.
All that's the same. The difference is one, they have a cure for, in the flu, they have a vaccination for it, whereas this, they don't. And there's no guarantee of, okay, is it just going to affect these people? Is it just going to affect this demographic, this age group?
Which is fair. Yeah,
but right now we just don't know. And it's hard to test for it as well, because right now you don't know who has what. And let's be real. Some people aren't going to go to the hospital. Some people, I mean, we just know how it is. Some people won't go to the hospital.
That would be me. Yes.
Yeah. Some people are going to go to the hospital when they don't have it.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be panicking like, yo, if I go, what if they quarantine me? Some people are gonna be like, oh, I'm going to just keep it a secret.
Yeah.
So you got to think, it's a lot that's going on to this, and it's happening in real life. At least with the flu, we've known the flu for years.